Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Worldwide Press Conference, where René Lévesque, the Premier of Quebec, will be discussing Bill 101, or the Charte de la Langue Française. Also today, on live television, the Lieutenant Governor of Quebec, Hugues Lapointe, will be officially discussing the bill and grant royal assent. René Lévesque and the Parti Québécois government introduced the bill, and its intention is to save the French language in Quebec. The contents of this bill exclude the English language from the provincial legislature and courts, and restrict access to English schools by anyone other than children whose parents attend English schools in Quebec. This bill has many supporters, but it does have some groups in Quebec that aren't too happy about it. René Lévesque and Hugues Lapointe are here to talk about it today and answer any of your questions. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to introduce to you René Lévesque and Lieutenant Governor Lapointe.
Hello everyone. Thank you for coming here on this historical day for Quebec. The Quebec we wish to build will essentially be French. The fact that the majority of the French-speaking population will be clearly visible at work and communications, and also in the countryside. It will also be a country in which the traditional balance of power will be altered, especially in regard to the economy. The use of French will accompany, symbolize, and support reconquest by the French-speaking majority in Quebec. Vive le Québec libre!
René could not have said it any better on how we feel about this bill and how it'll help Quebec. I am completely behind this and everything that the Parti Québécois government is doing. Now, I will officially sign the bill to grant royal assent.
Hello, my name is Monsieur Mercier from the Journal de Québec. What effect do you think the bill will have on Quebec and all of Canada?
This bill will change the way people in Canada and all around the world will think of Quebec. Ever since the conquest of Quebec of 1760, Quebec has been under the control of the British. This will take away any last ties we have left with Britain. It will purify this beautiful province and make it 100% French. In the past, only the true people have spoken the language, and even they haven't used it all the time. But now with French, the official language of the government, courts, and workplace, and with all the signs throughout the streets in French, all the people of Quebec will speak French and be proud of it. This is just a small step in a long-term goal of Quebec's independence, and that will make all Canadians respect us.
Hello, my name is Borat from La Voix de l'Est. My leaders want to know what events led to the need of this bill.
I'd say there are two main events that led to the urgent need of this bill. They are the conquest of Quebec of 1760 and the Quiet Revolution. Even though the conquest of Quebec of 1760 happened over 250 years ago, it was what started this whole thing. On that fatal day of September 8th, 1760, when Quebec surrendered to the British forces, the life of the French Canadians was changed forever. The English would now hold all the important positions throughout Quebec. The second event is the Quiet Revolution. This took place throughout the 1960s, and it was where the French government promised to improve the economic and social standards of the people of Quebec. They also promised to win greater recognition for all French-speaking people and give them greater control over their own futures. The Premier at the time, Jean Lachance, also modernized the school system, made French Quebecers and English Quebecers make the same wages, and he also brought in a flood of books, art, and plays all about the French culture, and he brought them to Quebec. This is a very big step made by the Quebec government, and it has led to the need of this bill.
My name is Sanjay Gupta from the Nouvelle East. Hugues Lapointe, can you please describe the content of this bill and how it preserves the French language in Quebec?
This is a very detailed and extensive bill, so I will try to summarize the main points as well as possible. Bill 101 makes French the official language of Quebec courts, government, and workplaces. It is required that all signs will be in French and that all children will attend a French school, with the exception of children whose parents attended English schools in Canada. The bill also established the Office Québécois de la Langue Française, or so-called language police, to enforce these rules. Also, many of the senior positions and large businesses were run by the English-speaking men, so by making French the official language of Quebec, it will force those positions to be run by the French. All of these small details are what will slowly turn Quebec into a 100% French province.
Hey, yo, it's Jerome from the Journal de Montreal. Yo, now, see, there's been much debate over this bill. What groups of Quebec support the bill, and what groups are the ones that are against it, and why?
We knew before we even put this bill into place that the two groups that would really be on our side were the Quebec nationalists and the union groups, and that has been the case. However, there are some communities and groups that have been angered by this bill.
Oh yeah, you're damn right we're angry. This bill trying to crush the non-speaking French minority in Quebec, and that ain't right. Us Anglophones are the English-speaking individuals who live in Quebec. This bill takes away the rights of all English-speaking Quebecers, and it tries to make them French. That ain't right. It is trying to do the same thing to the Anglophones in Quebec. An Allophone is an immigrant resident in Quebec whose mother home language is the same French nor English. The bill's the same effect on them as it does on the Anglophones, because under this bill, if you aren't French, you ain't treated as an equal.
Hey, this bill is not supposed to divide the province. It is going to bring us all together as one collective unit. We are not ignoring the Anglophones or Allophones. This bill was never meant for just this French-speaking majority. This bill is for all of Quebec.
I'm sorry, folks, that's all we have time for today. All we have time left for now is for René Levesque and Hugh Lapointe to make their final remarks.
I am so honored to be part of this historical event in Quebec's history. This marks a day that will forever be in the minds of all French Canadians. Vive le Québec libre!
I just want to leave here saying one quick phrase. This is just the beginning of our work to preserve the French language. The time of English in Quebec is over. There are plans in motion, just like Bill 101, that will help the French people and the language. The rest of Canada better respect us and our rights soon, or we are gone. There is more to come, people. Vive le Québec libre!
Thank you, everyone, for coming here to watch this press conference and to listen to those two men.